whoops. Add to. Oh, we're live. Can you tell? How are you all? It's me, Karen. If this is the first time on my channel, I'm Karen Viloria-Miguel, owner and founder of Canada Bliss Handmade Crochet hats and accessories. And you have reached my YouTube channel, the best place for crochet, creativity, talk, fun stuff. So today, hello everyone. First of all, let's say hello to everybody who's here. And I see Angela, you've made it. If you can hear me, again, give me the thumbs up because I always get nervous that make sure all the tech stuff's working. If you saw me when I first came on, I was actually just fixing the exposure because it was looking like really washed out, but I think I got the exposure okay and everything looks right, but it doesn't really matter because today we're doing like screen shares and stuff like that, so we don't need to be looking at me all day, right? So anyhow, I hope you've all been super duper well. And let's see. Hey, Angela, how you doing? It's good to see you. Thank you for tuning in today. And oh, you're just getting up. Well, you look like you slept in. I don't know about me. I've since the spring, I've been having a hard time sleeping, but I don't really mind because I feel kind of energetic. So it's all right. I think it just happens like every once in a while. I don't know why, but I wake up every 4 hours, even if I meditate before I go to bed. Just lately. Maybe I'm just super productive. I don't know. I hope it's that. Hi, everyone. Hi, Jessica. How are you? It's good to see you. Yay. And Georgetta, good to see you too. And our dear friend, Jojo. Hello, Jojo. Are you working while you're watching? I hope you're getting a productive day out. It's a gorgeous Saturday here in my hometown. So I'm just loving everything. And it's exciting because it's the end of the year. And I don't know if you know if you have kids or whatever, but this week is super busy. Everything's kind of wrapping up. And I think most of the teachers are done with their report cards and all that sort of thing. But, and for me, if you attended the summit, that was a busy period, but that's kind of done. And I'd been busy afterwards, but now it's just once June comes, it'll be busy. And I've got family coming to visit for my son's graduation because he's graduating. Yay. So I'm excited about that. And so is he. It's nice, but we also have fun stuff happening here. If you're tuning in, just let me know where you're tuning in from too. Hey, Sugar Babe, good to see ya. It's lovely that everybody was able to join me here on this lovely Saturday. So if you didn't see my post and you just happen to catch the live now, what we're doing today is my last video. If you see my last video, I leave all the links, of course, are going to be in the description below. But if you see my last video, I did a revised pricing calculator and spreadsheet. And that is what this is today. I thought I'd do a fun interactive because I love connecting with all of you guys. And it's if you're one of my students, you know I love getting into the coaching sessions and asking direct questions. So if you are looking to sell your items, sell your crochet or knit or handmade items online or in person, or trying to attempt craft fairs and you're just not sure how much to price your handmade items for, your crochet business items for, then I put in the link. Email me at blissbyhand@gmail.com and let me know how much you spend on each of the materials that you put into your component, into your one unit of thing. One unit would be one hat, one coin purse, or whatever like that. So if you want to do that, drop it. There's time if you do it now, we might be able to do one or two by the end of our live stream. And some people have submitted, so I'm going to cover one. So aside from the example I do in the tutorial, that way if you have any questions, you could just drop it in the comments and I can answer them for you. And you're always welcome to ask any questions that in anything business related too, or anything at all actually. And then I can help answer them for you because this is what the lives are for, and it's fun and interactive, and that's exactly what we're here for. So please don't be shy. Okay. So before we get started, I just want to make sure I have everything set up. Sugar Babe, hello. Manga Lacage, hello. It's lovely to see you. And Gloria, hi Karen. Gloria J. Bowman, Ms. Glow Crochet Creations. Hi, Karen, everyone in the chat. It's lovely. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming. And so if you want this is different, then I'd love to hear your feedback. Anyhow, let's start because this to me is like super fun. Anyhow, let me add to this stream. Okay, well, first of all, I just want to say, oh, I want to turn my Ethernet on just in case the internet, my ether. Bear with. Actually, I shouldn't. I have a connection, so I'm not going to mess with it. Okay, so here's what. Actually, yeah, okay, my internet's looking good, so I'm gonna leave it the way it is because I don't want to mess with it. Okay, I am going to screen share now, friends. If this is the first time that you're seeing my pricing spreadsheet, let me actually do a better share. I'm going to share the actual window. Okay, if this is the first time that you have seen this pricing spreadsheet, then let me walk you quickly through it. Say you have an item that you want to price, like let's see, like a small crochet toy, or like a, I don't have the example pictures, but in the video I do a little crochet pouch. It's like a coin purse that we price out if you were to price it on, like, I don't know, Etsy, or if you were to put it on your own online shop or sell it at a craft show or craft fair. So, and what we're going to do is I'll show you how we input each of the components. So then you end up with a price range. So you know exactly the range where, based on your materials, it'll give you a range of how much you should be pricing it for. And if it's just out of the league of what you were thinking about pricing it for, at least you can find better sourcing perhaps and get better prices for the materials, so you can get it within the range. And we take into account, like, how much you would pay for somebody to help you if you decide to offload the work to somebody else. And then I simplified how much to calculate your operating expenses. Now, this is just a disclaimer, just like the video. I'm not an accountant, but this is a nice, simple, and easy way to get you started until you develop more complex ways to calculate your annual operating expenses and the percentages that you should allocate per item when you have an idea of how many units you end up selling in a month or a year. Okay, this is an estimate for mostly startups or people who haven't sold a particular type of product and are still perhaps using their own household expenses to run their business. For example, maybe you use your home internet, or you use your home cell phone to do sales calls, or you use your own car to, like, get to the yarn store, and you use your own money for gas, but it's not the only thing, or most of the thing you do with your car. You probably still, I don't know, drive your kids to work, or you still go to a job. And then this is still your side gig until you can make it more significant, or maybe it stays your side gig. So either way, this is if you're just kind of like taking a smidge of your percentages because you plan to earn some income off of it. Okay. So give me the thumbs up if this sounds like it makes sense so far. I'm seeing that it's looking all right. So I'm going to continue. Just bear with me. I have a weird dot on my glasses and it's bothering me. So I'm going to take it. I'm going to just, it's not on that lens. Oh, it's, when there's a dot on your glasses and if you keep seeing it, it's going to bug you. I still see it. But anyway, I'm going to continue. So let's take a look at the materials. Okay, so this is the section that you would put the materials in. And when we use this calculator, it's calculated by unit. Okay, good. Jessica, so far so good. Awesome. Sugar Babe, fantastic. And thank you for letting me know. Okay. I'm going to drop my, I'm going to drop the email at gmail.com. Now the dot is actually a period, but I'm putting dots so then I don't get spammed. Okay. So this is what email you want to send it to. If you are thinking, oh, I want to send my example now, go ahead and send it. And in the meantime, I'm just going to walk you guys through this. So the materials are this section is where you input, like, the materials of how much you use. Okay. And then, and I'll show you what that means in a minute. This part automatically will calculate. Thank you, Gloria. I appreciate that. And then here is where we calculate if you have any home expenses that you use, like if we're going to use our car, if we're going to use our internet and that sort of thing. Okay. And then the percentage we're going to allocate towards our business. And then the total materials. We're going to calculate our labor. Now, it's so important to build labor into your pricing spreadsheet for the thing that you're making, because if you do plan to make it a business, you want to make sure that you at the very beginning set aside a chunk so you're paying yourself the for making the item, and then eventually that chunk that you pay yourself for, you can eventually offload to somebody else if you find that it is taking you a long time or you're getting so many orders that you really do need help. And thank goodness you built that in already so you can pay somebody else. When I was starting my business very early on, it was on Etsy. And then after about my first year, I started to notice that, yeah, I was getting a lot more orders, and it would be so much easier if I could get someone to help me. So once I found someone to help me, I was just so glad that I had built in that price into my pricing, because I was able to pay her. And still, when I charged the right price for my product, I was able to pay her. And because I was charging almost 2 times the materials and the labor costs, I netted the profit for myself, and then I covered my expenses. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So right from the very beginning, you're trying to charge the right amount for your products, okay? And so all of these things, that wherever there's a green cell means you can type over it. But if you've downloaded my pricing spreadsheet, you'll see that I think I protected it so you don't accidentally type over the white parts, because there are formulas built in here that I wrote for you so that it'll automatically calculate it and you don't have to worry too much about the calculations. These parts with the dashes too, I also built in some formulas so you can go ahead and type. As we type, you'll see that this stuff automatically populates, so you don't have to worry about that either. Okay, so let's get started. This is the fun part. Now we can see if a product you're making makes sense. Now one of my students submitted her item to be priced. So I'm going to bring up her example. Let's see here. I'm going to share the whole screen again. Here we go. Okay. Now let me introduce you to my dear Bethany. She is from Stuffed Annie's, and she wanted me to price this dinosaur that she makes. So I'd be happy to do so. So I'm so excited. So if you like Stuffed Annie's, then follow her on Instagram and check out her stuff, because she makes gorgeous stuffed amigurumis. So let's get started. Now, if there's any questions along the way, once again, let me know. Now, let's see. Now she says she uses blanket yarn for her amigurumi, and her blanket yarn, it's like a baby blanket yarn. She said that her blanket yarn is approximately, after tax, it's like, she said it's $11. You know what? I'm going to double check that. See, the thing about pricing is you got to hop in and out of some research. So one of the biggest things that you're going to see me doing here is actually doing the research to see. So blanket yarn. Okay, let me just see. Burnett, $14.85. Okay, but this is a Canadian prices. So Michael Store, $11.99. So in the States, in the United States, it probably is like about $11 after you get to add taxes to it. Now, blanket yarn from this company, Yarn Canada, you can get it for $7.29. Okay, so I want to ballpark it. I'm going to use $11 first, but then I'm going to show you an example of what happens when you can get better sourcing. So $11 we're going to use here, but parking it, say we got it consistently for this amount, and then we charge the tax $9.47. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, so blanket yarn, she currently is paying $11 per ball of yarn. Now, I don't want to assume that she can get it for a better price just yet. And she said that she also uses about 2.5 balls in mostly blue, and then the other colors that are in the dinosaur. So we're looking at 2.5 balls. So if we were to calculate that, is like $11 including the tax times 2.5 balls. That's about $27.50 for the yarn. Okay, so far so good. Now, Jessica, it is expensive, but let me, like, now we know we could probably get it for cheaper, and she probably gets it cheaper too. But the thing is, I always advise people to, when they're doing their first run of the calculation, you get it, you quote the price that you know that you can consistently get it all of the time. That's why eventually when you start scaling, you're going to want to find a wholesale supplier, because then you can know that you can get the same colors consistently over and over again in preferably the same dye lots, and you don't have to worry about waiting for a sale or stocking up on a bunch of colors that you're not sure you can get rid of. Okay, so that's our first little tidbit of advice. $11.99. I know, it is so cute. She's a gifted Amigurumi person, and if you love making certain things too, I highly and want to sell them, let me help you. So I have my consult link below, so I'm going to leave that little ticker on to remind you. And if you're joining me just now, friends, I'm doing a live walkthrough of my pricing spreadsheet, my newly revised simplified one. So it's a little bit easier when it comes to operating expenses. Okay, so blanket yarn. Whew. Okay, now her eyes for the doll is eyes. They're about, she said she gets them in a pack of, those big, like those, I think they're the Amazon containers, or craft show containers, where there's various sizes. And for after we divided the number of them, let's see how many were in a pack. They're about 14 in a pack. No. It was $14, and then there were like 50 eyes, but she uses 2 eyes, like one set. So you don't have to do the calculations in Excel, but you can, if you do it on a piece of paper, you do have to find out the per unit so you can calculate it. Okay. So like I said, her thing cost $14. Okay. And then she got 50. So 50. So she spent $14, but she gets 50 eyes. And then she uses 2 of them to make a set, unless it's like squinting or giving a wink, times 2, 40 divided by 50. Let's see, 56 cents. That makes sense. And okay, now she says also she uses polyfill on this thing. Now, I know that once you start making amigurumi, you can get polyfill in massive amounts. And we were trying to ballpark how much she uses inside of each of the amigurumi. So she said she can get, she gets a big one for about $28, and she can make about 5 big dolls like that from the big one. So I'm going to go on her word, because I'm not an amigurumi gal. But if any of you can pipe in and you know how much it costs for like one of those, how much it would cost you to stuff one of those, let me know. That way we can get closer in terms of like the pricing. But I'm going to go with what she had mentioned. And she said it was $28 and she can get 5 dolls out of it. That's $28 including the tax. She can get 5 dolls out of it. Okay, $5.60. Okay. So far in terms of her materials, it's $33.66. Now, I'm not sure if she includes hang tags or any other stuff like that, but you can also include things like that, like hang tags, say maybe like 20 cents each or whatever. Okay. Or like if you have wash tags, anything else, ribbon, if you put ribbon on it or whatever. Okay. So $33.83. Now, the part that I simplified in this calculator is the business expenses. So, for example, in the video, I use the example of internet. And I'll let you know here, guys, internet and phone are expensive. So, like my cell phone is expensive. So I was highballing it. And if you get internet and cell phone for way cheaper, fantastic. Okay, so just use that. Okay, so and then say gas. I'm gonna add gas in there too. So say your internet, I put like $60 for internet, and say your cell phone, I put $100 in the example, but say you get it for less, like $60 for your your cell phone. So this is per month. Okay. um, per month. And let's see here. And gas. Say gas is like you spend about oh my gosh, gas right now is like insane. But just on your business, you spend about $10 in gas. Okay. So um, all of this calculates out to about $130. Okay. So you put home expenses used for the business, and this is monthly. Okay. The monthly home expenses. So I'm going to type in right here $130. Now, what percent of it do we, oh, wait, gas. Say you use $100 in gas. Okay. So percent used for the business, say your business, you use your internet, your cell phone, and your gas, maybe like 10, 15, maybe 20%. Let me use 15% as a jumping off point, like calling people, arranging for whatever. I don't know if you make that many calls for your business, but you probably need to use your internet at least. But so allocated for the business for per month based on like spending this much on these kinds of things, you probably you spend about $20. So divided by the number of units you plan to list on your website or sell that month, say not 10 items but like maybe 5 or like maybe 6 items, $3.25. Okay. So say she plans to list or sell about $3.25. We put that number right here, and it automatically populates for you, so you don't have to put it in there. Now, labor. How much are you going to pay yourself to make this item? Now, she said that it takes her about an hour and a half to 2 hours, but it's hard for her to tell because she'll pick it up, she'll put it back down, she'll cook for the kids, she'll drive them to school and then put it back, pick it back up again. And honestly, that's when I used to hire crocheters, that's how they also lived. So I personally based it on yardage. So that's why I put hourly or yardage estimate. But I would also time myself, and I know I'm not the fastest crocheter, but I would estimate based on the fastest I can make it. So that, because once you start paying people hourly, if they're taking 4 hours to do it because they're watching Netflix and then cooking in between, that is not your responsibility, right? If it's the same amount of yardage as what it takes to make a hat as what it does to make a toy, then what I pay the two people to make the one unit would be about the same. So, for example, in this case, she spends about an hour or two. Say minimum wage is about $10 an hour. So let's max out at like 2 hours. So 2 hours times $10 an hour is, we'll pay ourselves $20 on top of like hopefully doubling this price, but we're going to pay ourselves $20. So we know based on the yardage for this much for a toy that it's about $20. So if you make something else, say you decide to make a handbag and it costs that, and it takes about that much in yarn, and you're like, now how much do I pay her to make the handbag? If it took about the same for the amigurumi yardage, it's gonna be about the same for the big handbag, right? So that's kind of your jumping off point. But with handbags, there aren't as much sewing together as amigurumi because there's a lot of piecing. That's the thing with amigurumi. So in terms of piecing things, it's actually going to be like if I were to make someone like a tote and it was about the same yardage, I'd probably pay the crocheter somewhere more around, if this is the amount we pay for the amigurumi, I'd probably go with about maybe $15 or $18, or yeah, to pay the that crocheter to make the handbag, because it's probably just like 2 squares and then attach, as long as there's no zipper or like like a ton of weaving in. Like if it was a granny square handbag, it'd probably be about the same as the amigurumi because of the details. But you kind of factor those things in. These are the little things you take into consideration. Okay. Oh, look, cooked by Robin. Hey, Robin. This our amigurumi lady. Oh my God. So I don't know if you sell some of your stuff, Robin, we're going through pricing for how you price one of our examples, which is one of my students who sells amigurumi. So let me just show you. If you're just joining us, this is my dear Bethany, and she makes gorgeous amigurumis. So you can check her out at Stuffed Annie if you want on Instagram. But anyway, we're pricing out one of her items on this interactive. So let's keep going. Okay. So other unit costs. Say for example, like I left other per unit costs in here because say you start selling and then someone who just absolutely loves your stuff is like, oh my gosh, I want to help you, I want to sell for you, I sold 4 at my school today or whatever. Then you could always like build in like a commission for that person. You could always like say, oh, if you ever sell one, then I'll give you $2 or whatever. But right now, or you'll give them like 15%. But right now we're just going to leave that blank because I don't want to get complicated. This is supposed to be the simplified version. In the more complex one, you'd probably want to build in, if you're going to hire a sales rep or if you're going to pay fees for being on a wholesale site or just stuff like that. But anyway, let's leave that blank for now. So based on the amount she spends on the yarn, which I know, like we could probably get a better price, but I asked her to use the most like realistic, frequent price she could get without it being on sale. So that's okay. And let's see here. Let's see. I used to price my items. I don't sell anymore, but I price my materials plus my hourly wage to make it. Yours is far more sophisticated. Actually, I find that I like hourly, it made sense, but to me, yardage makes more sense because yeah, just because if like you use a ball and a half to make something and then you make something else that's a ball and a half and it's not exactly the same thing, then it's kind of comparing apples to apples without having to take into consideration like other factors. So anyway, that's why I like yardage as well. Like hourly is a great jumping off point, but it's so subjective. And then it's like, who do you measure as the fastest? So anyway, I usually take an average. I do the same thing with the people I pay to sew my tags on. So that's another thing too, just so you know. Okay, so it ends up being, whoa, okay, it's not like some toys could be this much. Okay, so 2 times a whole, like when you now calculate the retail price for this toy, it comes out to about $114 if it were to be immediately stocked in a retail store. Okay, this is if you're in a bricks and mortar store. However, most people take this retail price and will sell it for around, you'd probably see it around this price at a craft show, like $74, because most crafters will discount it at least 35% at a craft show. And or sometimes it's even worse where they only charge this price at a craft show, or at best maybe $10 more, and they maybe will charge $40 just to make $10 off of the item after the materials. But if that happens, that's not great. Or maybe they charge this price, $57 for the item, and they cover just their expenses, and maybe they don't even pay themselves. But if they only gave themselves $10, you're looking at $47. See, this is where you can kind of get an idea of when you look at other people and you're comparing, because right after this, we're going to do a competitive analysis. Okay. So we're going to start comparing. You're like, but okay, before you go like, whoa, that's a lot. Right now, I'm going to stick with 20. And then we're going to see where cost savings might make sense in this situation. Okay. So right now it's looking at 114. See, it's not unheard of though, that a toy could sell for 114 that is stuffed and beautiful and handmade like this. I personally think it's worth the value. However, this is also a price for like an established brand. Like you've probably been selling for years. You've made a name for yourself. You're in a few stores. You're in a lot of stores. People trust the quality. They know that no one's like choked on your product, or you've never been sued or anything like that. So this is like what an established brand you might even have some sort of publicity, or maybe a famous child has held your toy and you have a picture of it. So this is like the kind of price you can pay. But if you're doing a craft show, some people end up being between $57 and $74. Let's see here. I think I paid myself, Robin says, I think I paid myself like $15 an hour. So ensured all my makes only took 2 hours to make. Smart. If it took you longer, it didn't make to cut for selling. Exactly. This is exactly it. if it doesn't make sense and it takes you an extraordinarily long time to make something, either fix your production process or consider not selling that item. Maybe just keeping it for yourself. Like, I admit, I've made a ton of things for myself that I wear that I do not sell because I would not go through that process to continue making it over and over for other people and to train other people. The bang for the buck wouldn't make sense for me. That's why I know what types of things I will add to my collection and what types of things I don't. So that's why I caution some people too. Like, they'll make a purse and then they'll like sew in more lining, sew in this, sew in that. And it's just like, are you really going to sew in all of those other extra things and then charge $13? It's not worth it anymore, right? Okay, let's move on so you guys can see where we start finding the cost savings. But before we get to the cost savings, let's do a competitive analysis, okay? So this is what you always must do when you do your pricing. Remember, this is handmade. It is. That's why it's worth the time to figure out if we got the pricing right, okay? This is where it gets super fun. Okay, now, so for this amigurumi that we are doing, let's see here, we want to make sure that if this is our jumping off point after we go the first run through the pricing spreadsheet, then let's check out some obvious places where we can see if it's comparable to the different types of toys we might be competing against. So let's do the obvious choice. Let's hop on to Etsy, okay? Let's see here. I'll hop on to Etsy. I'm going to do this live. So, okay, wait, bear with me. Bear with me, folks. Okay. Drop in the comments what you're thinking so far. If you have any comments or you think it's it sounds crazy or great, I'm open to both. I can handle it. In fact, it was interesting because today I got a really mean comment on Facebook, and I was just like, huh. Oh, well, what can you do? This happens. Sometimes people don't like you or what you have to say, but I honestly, I like helping people, and some of this stuff to me makes sense. So I don't see why I can't share it with you. So I'm just gonna share this. Now you can see on my bookmarks and the stuff I look at. Yeah, I listen to church music and I try to occasionally work out. Here we go. Okay, so let's go to Etsy. And the working out part is like rare right now. I know I should get better at that. Okay, so what we're going to look up is, let's look up a crochet. We'll be very direct. Crochet unicorns. We'll get specific. Okay. You know what? We're not off. Look, we have an Etsy seller here, $122. Wow, she sews a lot of stuff onto her items, and she has reviews. You can tell it easy. So, I mean, it's not completely out of range for her to be charging this amount. So if you thought it was like, what? No, it can be done. So there you go. And then what else? Something about that size too, about $49. This lady, okay, you can understand why she might be charging $49. And what did I tell you? She is somewhere between paying herself probably about $10 for the labor, not even getting close to doubling the amount, and then charging like 47. She's probably not even paying herself operating expenses, because she's somewhere at around $43, $49. So guys, we don't want to do that. You want to make sure that you're paying yourself. Okay, so let's go back to the $20. Okay, $57. I think it's completely fair that she would charge at least, like, this is a wholesale price, honestly. What else can we find that's somewhere between the, oh, here's a cute one, $40, also very low, but again, it's a local seller. She probably doesn't have any shop reviews yet. She's probably trying to get like some street cred in there and get some reviews. This is adorable. This is adorable. I think it's really cute. She even took a great picture of it. The picture is clear. She knew it was wise enough to like shoot a video. And it's probably, yeah, and then it's on a white background. She's showing the cuteness of the hair. I I hope if this girl's watching or this person's watching that they might consider bringing up the price. But you know what? It's not a bad idea that you try and just get a little bit of street credibility and just include, try and get her price that she meant. Let's see. Oh, yes. Beautiful unicorns. Here's one that's somewhat similar. $60. Again, this shop just has about 43 sales. So ballparking it, she has some reviews. See, I think this person might be ready to increase the price a little bit, but anyway, now we see that the range isn't unheard of in terms of like pricing it here. However, where could she get more cost savings? Okay. Oh wait, before I move on to cost savings, I also want to show, okay, we've considered Etsy, okay? Now, always remember too that when you're making something, it isn't just a crochet item that you're making. And I know you guys have heard this time and time again. You're selling an item that is in a category of a retail thing you make. So you need to compare this thing with other things in the category that aren't necessarily crochet, okay? So let's take a look at, okay, what is of the same quality that is mainstream on other websites. Let's take a look at this. Cuddle and Kind. Maybe you've heard about this person, but she makes knit things, kind of started out like the rest of us, making things from home. For US, her dolls sell for $86. She now gets like fair trade people to make her items, but the dolls are pretty big. It is knit. As crocheters, we know it's knit, but most people who are buying dolls can't tell the difference between knit and crochet. But the ballpark for the pricing is $86 American. That falls somewhere between this range here already. Okay. So other people in this category are selling within this price. Okay. So this is an established brand. And then where else can we look? Let's say Pottery Barn Kids. They like high quality stuff. They sell to people who appreciate high quality. Here's a unicorn, also $89. Okay. So probably we're trying to get at least within that price range of like $89. Okay. What else can we find? Harrods. You can count on finding great quality products here. Oh, here, Cuddle and Kind again, $74. Okay. So we're still in, and $74, 74 pounds, I think is about $90 Canadian, about 80 American. So again, we'll probably want to get into that price range. And here's another cute Harrods toy, about $64. Once again, it's probably about in the $80, $90 range. So now we're getting an idea of what makes sense for this product category, and that you don't necessarily have to compare it against other crochet items, because a lot of the time, once you only compare your items to things in Etsy, you end up with groupthink. Have you ever heard of that? It's a term they use when you're in a meeting with the same people for too often in a corporate environment, where you end up thinking they're the same and you end up agreeing with each other. And you all end up actually agreeing in the same way, that you kind of lose perspective of what's really out there. If you want an idea of what's really out there, check out what's in your category for your toy or your handbag or your hat or women's accessory or whatever. Okay, so getting back to our pricing, here we are. Back again. Great. So now we probably want to but now that we've done a bit of a competitive analysis, we know it is, there's one more I wanted to show you guys. Check this out. This is like, if you've really differentiated your brand and like, oh boy, like I've nailed it with differentiating, and now I have a name for myself, like a big name for myself, like American Girl or whatever. Now this brand, imagine you get the credibility of this Stife, I think it's called. Like, their toys are like, the way they differentiate their brand, they're like, price should not be an issue if you want to buy from these people, because theirs are like 230 pounds each, but it's like an heirloom. You will pass this down from generation to generation, and your child will love this forever. And you have your grandfather's Stife teddy bear. Like, that's why you bought it. Like, this is the kind of product differentiation you would want to make to charge something that's like, where price doesn't matter. if you haven't watched my video on scaling handmade items to success, you want to watch it, because that is where we get into, like, people don't believe that luxury items are recession proof. Let me tell you, inflation is like going through the roof now, and everyone's worried about the economy, but people are still buying these Steiff dolls. I bet you that's what you call like recession proofing, because like sentiment and sentimentality for products that are like an heirloom item, people will save up to buy them, even if times are tough. In fact, they're more likely to buy them when times are tough, because they're holding on so tight. They're like, okay, the next time I spend $100 on a toy, it's gonna be the best toy I can get for that $100. So that is the mentality of when you enter into this heirloom, this high quality premium product. And that is what you are making when you make handmade items, guys. So let's get the best price, so that when you even price it up there, if you are still pricing it at this rate, then you end up with a fantastic profit margin. Anyway, now we're going to find cost savings. Are you ready? Guys, if you're just joining me now, we are pricing using my new simplified handmade spreadsheet for pricing spreadsheet, and we are pricing Bethany's Amigurumi. So I'm going to show you Bethany again. She's with Stuffed Annie's. If you could check her out on Instagram. Okay, let's get back here. Now, blanket. She uses Bernat blanket yarn. And yeah, we use the full retail price with tax. But what is possible if she knew she was going to she gets an order for 10 of these? She knows that she could probably buy a bag or a kilo of yarn and get the wholesale price for it. Because once you start buying bags in like kilos, you can get wholesale pricing for them. So what I did was I looked up like wholesale pricing for this product, and let me just check it out. So for example, from one of my suppliers, I found this one, $27 for this ball of yarn. The yardage is, I'm sharing, right? Okay. The yardage is like 85 meters, 4mm hook. So I'm thinking it's about the same size, but it's $27 for 10. Okay, 10 balls. And if she can get, let's see, if it's $27 for 10, like clearly we'll do the math. Clear. So $27 for it's $2.70 per ball, but I'm gonna add tax to that 1.13. That's tax in Canada, so, or in Ontario. So $3 per yarn. So what if this $11 was now $3 a ball, and then times 2.5? Her cost for the yarn is only $7.50 now. Okay, bringing her total materials down to $13.86. You could probably even do the same thing with the polyfill, the eggs, but I'm just going to affect the biggest bang for the buck, which is the yarn, right? Total materials $13.86. I'd keep that, like the yardage and the hourly, at 20, and then for now we'll keep it here. Somewhere between $2 to $5 is usually pretty reasonable for like the operating expenses when you're getting started. Again, I'm not an accountant. This one would be up to your discretion. So if you hate my idea, then just bear with me. And then so the total materials is $37.11 times 2, $74.29. If you were to go to craft show and sell it for $48, that's not unheard of. But now we're in this range, $74.22, and that's times 2. That's $37 times 2. Okay, now we could totally compete with all of these other people who are selling at this price. Where was that? Oh, this person here. We could totally compete with this. Imagine you sell so many at $70, $75. Let's go with $80. But you got your price down to 37. You got your materials down to $37. Oh my gosh, let's look at what you're netting. You're netting $42.89 per doll. And you've already paid yourself or somebody else to make it. And you've covered your costs and your gas and your, like, the portion of your phone. That is what you want to do. So that is my example. Now, if you have any questions, I would love to hear what you think. Um, let's see here. Those are absolutely adorable, aren't they? I love when I was doing the research for this, I was like, they are adorable. Like an echo chamber. Yep, groupthink is totally like that. Hello, Karen and chatters. Hello. So I'm just wondering what you guys think of and what you think of this for your pricing. And I'm quickly going to check my email to see if in the process of this anybody has sent their information. And let's see here. This way. Let's see. I haven't gotten any more emails in, but this is the one that I had prepared for this one. So I just wanted to tell that part to you. Now, let's see here. Bear with me, guys. Okay, so if you have any questions about this, let me know. Otherwise, that is how you use the pricing spreadsheet. And I will move it. Remove. Okay. Now just keep in mind, pricing is just one of the ways that you have to that you need to focus on when you're building your business, because it's interesting because when I was in business school, it's like every department, we were forced to work with each other in every single faculty at one point. It was closer to our graduating year, I remember. It's like, I don't generally sell crochet items. I prefer to sell patterns. But if I had, it seems like a good method. Well, thank you. So I appreciate that. And oh my gosh. And Reggie, I just have to thank you. I'm going to publicly thank you right now because you said, I'm going to cry now because you said such kind words about me in the mention of your video. I mean, that's super, super, that was so kind of you. I just wanted to tell you how much I appreciate that. If you haven't watched J Hook's video on when she reviewed some crochet sites, she mentioned my channel, and I was brought to tears listening to her. Thank you so much. This is why your auction did so well too, because you're such a good person, inside and out. Thank you. People, yeah, just out of the kindness of your heart, you mentioned my channel and me, and you are lovely too. So anyway, look at me, I'm crying. I really appreciate that. Only too, because this morning I woke up and there was a really nasty comment on my social media, and I was like, oh, but then I prayed about it and I'm okay. But Reggie, I just want you to know I appreciate it. Oh, you're very good. You are good at what you do. I'm glad I met you when I did in my life. It was so kind. Oh, look at that. We're in a business video and I'm here bawling my eyes out. See, that's the thing about when you make a business and you're passionate about it. People don't realize. I remember when I first started, my husband was like, Karen, you can't get so emotional about your business. But the thing is, it's your heart goes into it. I don't know what kind of person can create a successful business when your heart's not in it. It might seem like we're workaholics or we work too much, but isn't it just you're doing it because you love it? This is fun. And honestly, I love crochet, and I honestly love talking about business. I started this channel because I love talking about business, and I will talk anybody's ear off about starting businesses, running businesses, any time of the day for free. But I just I found that handmakers could use a hand, because I was doing this for non-hand making businesses too. So, and they would pay me. And I thought, I'm going to help people who crochet because they're so talented, and they they don't realize the gem they are in the market. And I'm glad that people are realizing that handmade is so beautiful and it's worth the value. It almost, guys, don't get discouraged about the economy right now, because truly people are holding on to their money to spend it carefully, and they're going to look for the best value and thing that they make. And that's what you make. And I truly believe that they're going to save their money for the best. And that is what you make. So, oh, it is my pleasure, Divergent Crafter. I love doing this. So if selling in person markets, I found it was a lot of trial and error to find the right market for pricing. No church fairs or local markets. I aimed for artisan handmade markets. Me too. If I could give any kind of advice, one thing I did right away was I tried markets when I first started, and then I weeded them out and I focused on juried markets. If you're not sure what a juried market is, it's the ones that you're applying to get into, because those ones have paid staff, they have administration, they have dedicated marketing people who push out to the demographic that they know will pay the price for your handmade items. If it and you're like, oh my god, juried shows are like $200 a table, $500 a table, $2,000 a table. Yes, they are, but do you know how much you can make at these shows? If you have a product that they feel that will sell, you will make 5 to 10 fold more than your table. I assure you. I never would believe it, but one time I invested, like I was like, oh my gosh, I invested in a spring show. It was like, I don't know, like $800. I made that back in the first day, and it was like a 5-day show. So clearly I blew the like it, and I was in shock because I was only like selling at the very beginning. But the thing is, you have to work on differentiating. That's what I was getting into. When with your business, when I was in business school, everybody like HR thought they were the most important. Marketing thought they were most important. Marketing and sales were two different programs, but everyone thought they were the most important. Finance thought if you don't balance your budget, you'll never profit. So we're the most important. The truth is, unless you have all of the components working together, then you won't have the business that works in terms of profit. So I remember, and the thing is, I loved the marketing part of it. And I actually didn't know what I wanted to sell, but all I knew was I wanted to go into business for myself. And I'm like, well, I can crochet. And back then, nobody cared about like crocheting or anything like that, because it was like years and years ago. But I thought, okay, I can crochet. What I'll do is I'll make it in ways that are super stylish that I like, because I like fashion too, right? But I'll make it in ways because I know I'm good at enough in crochet to make it look appealing, and then I'll use my marketing skills, and then I'll just learn the rest, and I'll use my like HR skills to like build the rest of the stuff I don't know. And that's how I built my business. But what you would need to do is, most of the people I find who come to me who are students are great already at making, and you all are so talented, like way more talented than I am. I assure you, I know there are people who are way better crocheters, way better designers that are out there. But the thing is, you'll need to just find the way to differentiate, and differentiating takes a little bit of research and legwork. And a lot of the time, and it's the times have changed even just during the realm that I've been in this kind of like in this niche of like crochet knit business type thing. It's so important how good your pictures look. And if you don't know if your pictures look good, you really do have to compare it with all of the example niche type sites we did in the competitive analysis part of this pricing example. So if you went back to like, let's take a look again. If we went back and we looked at, where was it? Let me pull it up for you. Look at this. Cuddle and Kind. Okay. This lady is like killing it. Okay. But if we look at, okay, knit dolls on Etsy. Oops. Okay. No, I'm just trying to find a comparison between the two. Bear with me. And it might be super obvious for some people, but some people just getting into this may not like realize, right? So, for example, right off the bat, see, for example, this one. It's not exactly like the same, but it's like $80. This one's more like Cuddle and Kind, 78 American. So she is pricing roughly about the same, which is good. And let's see here. Probably, let me just say that, for example, let me just go to the, like this person, I'll tell you the work she does, this is the first person I'm just kind of see, she like the piecing together of these dolls that she does, it probably takes equally as long, but she's charging $35 for them. And then, but the thing is, if she were to want to market to the same niche, you have to make the pictures look like they fit in the niche. That's the only advice I would give to this person, because she has a great product, but fitting it into the niche is what you want to do. And it's like, it seems so simple, but it's as simple as, look at this. This is adorable, isn't it? Like, so cute and so cuddly. And you know that it would be, as like creative people, we can visualize and we can almost feel it already. But people who are just shopping will think, well, they'll go past it because the picture's dark. I know it's like so simple, but the picture's just dark. That's all. If this were brighter, and just like you did a transparent background on it, this would be like equally as adorable as each and every one of these things, that each and every one of them. And then you can get out of the range where you're selling it for wholesale. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so that is it. And then you, was I screen sharing? Oh darn, I wasn't screen sharing. Let's take 2 on that one. Okay. Let's see here. Cough, share. Okay. Thank you. Yes. I am getting to screen sharing. So we're going to take 2 on that one, folks. Where's my, okay, here we go. Let's go back to Etsy. Bear with me. I'm going to mute for 2 seconds because I need to blow my nose. It's because Reggie made me cry. But for good tears. Let's see here. Where is my little Etsy? So what happens when you cry? Oh my gosh. Now it makes me want to make amigurumi, okay, because it's so pretty. Okay, I was just sharing, for example, this one. She has a beautiful product. If you look at, this is the one I was oogling over. That's adorable. This sheep. Anyhow, 45 Canadian. Okay, that's like $30 American. So, and it's equally as cute as all of this. And it has the ribbon and all of that sort of thing. Oh, gee, hello. Now I'm going to share. Oh, no, yeah, I am sharing. Okay. Take 3. So here we go. So it's equally as cute. So she can now, hopefully, if she were to like brighten it up, check if your images are bright, if it evenly like represents the doll, if you can make perhaps the background disappear. Like, it's quite simple to make the background disappear. She's probably got these on stands or just lying on the ground, and then they just layer the images in Canva, or they probably use Photoshop because there's probably professionals who do this. But like the 13-inch doll is 86, but the 20-inch doll is 113. Okay, so let's see here. Description. Okay. I hope, Wendy, you're watching, but see, the thing is, you also need to know how tall this doll is. How big is it? There's no frame of reference in the picture of how big the doll is. Like even if you put like something beside it, like a what would be something, a tissue box, or a can of juice, or something that people recognize, they have an idea of how much this is, or even just like putting like a measuring tape, or providing the length of the description of the doll, and you would need to show what it is, and then take the picture, make the background disappear, just make it nice and simple so people can picture it in their life and not in her living room. Because here too, look, you see the like other stuff that kind of removes the placement of this in your life, because what you're trying to do is put your product in their life and make it look like beautiful and like cuddly and emotional. Ideally, you'd also have maybe an editorial picture where like there's a child like hugging it, like, look at this kid, she is happy because she's got this doll. That's the imagery and the emotional connection you're trying to create when you're positioning your product so that you can get $113 for a 20-inch doll. Okay? So I hope this helps a little bit. If you have any questions, let me know. And J-Hook, I am happy to cry with you anytime. I have happy tears. Oh, Robin, thank you. That is so sweet. And like, it's pounds. Oh my gosh. That is like, it's like the lottery. Thank you so much. Now it makes me wish that I had my plug. Can I tell you, sometimes when we go live with my friend Alicia, we she has this bubble machine and I actually went and bought one. Can I show you? I bought one. I can't figure out how to get it working because you need the special plug, which I also bought, and I can't get that to work. I will figure it out. Heck, I just figured out screen sharing. You wonder why I can't get the bubble machine working. So, yep, I agree. Change the presentation. You already look 10 times more professional. Absolutely. That's why, even like if you're thinking about starting a YouTube channel, most of it is lighting. You just need good lighting. Even with my lighting, I'm like, oh, it's a work in progress. But my husband's like, light it, light it. And I'm like, yes, I agree. Lighting is like so important. Oh, can't see. That was when I wasn't screen sharing. Okay. My friends, I hope this was helpful. If there are any questions about what we covered, okay. So now product differentiation. So we covered that. And then what else? What other factors? Oh, I mentioned some other factors that really help in building your business. Either way, if you're not sure, you're like, oh my gosh, I do that. I take clear pictures. I do, I do that. Then there could be other things in terms of your process. Just know too, once you get the nice pictures out there, are you marketing to the right audience? Are you selling a pattern or are you selling a product? When you're pushing your stuff out on social media, are you marketing to makers or are you marketing out to people who buy toys? Are you marketing to their parents? Are you using the right keywords? Then the next part comes in is like your SEO research, and your research, you have to gather the competitive information you need for your SEO research. Anyway, the whole point is that if you don't quite know how to do that, I put my consultation link below. You are welcome to book with me because the consult's free, and I could help you with figuring out is it the photo? Is it your SEO? Do you even know what SEO is? These things are important because now SEO, like finding keywords to put into for example, your descriptions, and like for your descriptions and for your titles, these things will affect whether or not you're seen on any platform, on Etsy, on Google, on Instagram, on Shopify, because Shopify actually even creates, like, it'll push out to Google for you. There's so many softwares that help you with the integration right off the bat. All you have to do is tell the system how to find you and push you out to the right people. So that is part of it. So, I mean, this person never asked me to critique, but if I would say anything, I'd say probably take a look at your, what's it called? Oh, almost bought it. I would buy that, but take a look at your keywords. That's what I would just say. So, hello, Angeles and Dujar. Good afternoon from New York, Junkers. God bless you. God bless you too. So, and Jayok says, I agree. Change the presentation. You already look 10 times more professional. Exactly. So friends, that is exactly what I wanted to share with you today. And I highly encourage you, like, if you're not sure whether it's your product, your price, your promotion, your placement, your distribution, like, are you selling to the right people? How do you get a hold of it? It doesn't even have to be. Here's the other thing too. This is another misconception. You don't have to be on social media everywhere. You start with the community you're in. Okay. A lot of the people who are my students, they're like, oh, I don't want to dance on TikTok and I don't want to shoot reels. I just hate them. And it's just like, well, how did you make the first few sales that you made? Oh, I'm really busy in my like community. I'm PTA, church communities, whatever. That's your community. If that's how you sell, that's how you keep selling, and you build from there. You can expand out to social media or whatever methods you want to grow from the place where you have your community. I'll admit, My first community was like my kids' elementary schools. Like I was selling to the parent, like it was friends who were like, "Oh, I like your hat," and then it's like moms buying, and then soon it was like the teachers, and it was the teachers my husband works with, and then it was like, "Oh, okay, now I'll try shows," and then that grew from there. Then it was my customers who buy from shows, then their friends from shows. Then it just once you know who these people are, it just gets so much easier to identify. And it's almost easier to figure out if you do interact in person with people. For me, I love selling in person because I like the person to person interaction. But I mean, if you're just like they're like, oh no, 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 no. I just have to sell online. That's great. It's good to know exactly know with conviction where you want to go, because then you could build your entire business around exactly what you want to do. Okay. There are people who are like, nope, I only sell from my home and that works for me. Fine, that's fantastic. Then all you have to do is just build your methods of finding these people electronically, which will have a lot to do with like your SEO. Yes, and word of mouth, probably using influencers, or maybe you do have to get a little bit better on social media, but there's no reason that you couldn't explore paid ads. Sometimes if you don't want to get out into the public, then you can explore paid options. But anyway, again, friends, I am available for you to book a call with if you would like to find out more about how to build your business, or if you want to troubleshoot a little bit on growing it to the point where perhaps you get it kind of like Cuddle and Kind, where you can scale it. Because there are ethical ways too to find people to make your items for you and build a business that you love, so you can be home and you can live the life that you want to live. Okay, friends, that is pretty much all I have to cover, unless you have any questions. And I don't think I have any new ones that have come in. So if you have any questions at all, please feel free to book a call with me. And let me see too. Oh, and I have an upcoming workshop. Yes, I have an upcoming workshop. If you didn't see my workshop at the Crochet Summit, it was on scaling your handmade business to success. I gave it a free resource. You can find that resource at KarenVMiguel.com. Go ahead and watch the video there, or join me, because I'm going to be having an interactive next week on let me just see here, next week on the 23rd. It's already on my YouTube channel. So hit remind, because I'm going to go through the whole Scale to Success 20-minute seminar, but I'll sit with you live and I'll be answering questions at the beginning, middle, and end. Okay. So it'll be kind of like this, but I'm going to go through the whole Scale to Success webinar. Okay. I mean, what's it called? Workshop. So please join me. And in the meantime, if you want to check out the free resources, KarenVMiguel.com, go ahead and get them for yourself. And friends, I'm going to wrap up this live stream. God bless you all for joining me. It's so sweet for people I haven't seen for a little while. Wonderful live stream. Thank you. My pleasure, guys. It was such a pleasure. So if you're watching the replay, go ahead and all the links that you need are below. And I appreciate you all. And thanks, Robin. I appreciate that. So sweet. So you all have a healthy, safe, and happy handmaking life. And I will see you next week at the live workshop. Bye all.